Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You can have, on average, a period as low as the age of 10. In fact, even lower. Even lower. Some of you may not be aware of this, but early blooming outside of the norm is a thing. Early blooming. Most girls start their periods when they're about 12, but they can start as early as 8. What we do find in scripture is saying that after the blooming period, people are ready for marriage. They can start as early as 8 after the blooming period. People are ready for marriage.
Bruh.
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You can have, on average, a period as low as the age of 10. In fact, even lower. Even lower. Some of you may not be aware of this, but early blooming outside of the norm is a thing. Early blooming. Most girls start their periods when they're about 12, but they can start as early as 8. What we do find in scripture is saying that after the blooming period, people are ready for marriage. They can start as early as 8 after the blooming period. People are ready for marriage.
Bruh.
After. Let's do some simple math for a second. Since CJ's particular brand of autism doesn't seem to allow him to realize what he just said. So, women can start their puberty or start their blooming period as early as 8. But how long does the blooming period typically last? Well, this is what it says. 2 to 5 years. So let's just help CJ with some very, very simple math here and see what he's actually arguing for. So they can start their blooming period as early as 8. It lasts for 2 to 5 years. And as you heard him say, once the blooming period is over, they're fit for marriage, which means you could have someone who starts early, as he said, around 8, lasts for 2 to 5 years. So what does that equal? Well, that would be a 10 to a 13-year-old. 10 to a 13-year-old. CJ Cox defends, supports, condones the act of marrying a 10 to a 13-year-old. That's what he supports. He's fine with that. So what's all the hoopla about? What's all the whining about? What's all the moral posturing about? He's saying he's just made an argument, and basically girls potentially could be viable for marriage as early as 10. So what's the issue? What's the issue? Exactly. Because I'm not really entirely sure, honestly, what CJ is trying to make a point here with this. If any Muslims find this, I would suggest you go follow the synagogue. Not only does he defend your fatalistic view of the world, but he also thinks it's totally acceptable to marry someone as young as 10, basically. As long as they finish their blooming period, which according to CJ can happen as early as 10, well, they're fair game. So what's all the fuss about, CJ? Don't really get it. Maybe you should go back to school. Maybe take a basic math class. Maybe you didn't pay attention too much in high school in basic math because you were too busy selling drugs behind the bleachers, living that thug life, I guess. Well, I guess that's some food for thought, isn't it? Something to consider that CJ Cox is a complete and utter absolute embarrassment. Even when he tries to argue against something or against someone, he's so stupid and he's so slow, you can't even really follow what he's saying. Shout out to our good buddy and channel supporter, Basement Dweller, for putting the video together, grabbing those clips, and putting them in a neat little package and a neat little bow. Very much appreciate it. Feel free to share this around. Let the Muslims know that the supposed Christian, fake Christian, CJ Cox is on their side, and help them support their particular brand of weirdness. CJ Cox has given them a great argument that he claims to be biblical and scriptural and well supported. So you guys can share that around. Make sure everyone knows that the synagogue, Christian Isaiah Cox of Boise, Idaho, supports and condones the marriage of 10-year-olds, that they are perfectly fit to marriage as long as they finish their blooming period. So there you go. Take that with you. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you have yourselves a very, very lovely day. Peace of Christ to the true saints. I'm signing out.